What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Tailgate Sports Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tanner Johnson. With me, as always, is Ricky Scott. Hey, Ricky.
What's up, Tanner? How you doing today?
Yeah, it's good. We're recording day two of the draft, so it's been pretty good. Except my Titans just decided to shoot me. So, sad life. But we're not going to talk about that and get all the press. We're going to talk about something awesome. We're interviewing the head coach of Horizon High School, Coach Tyson Ditmore. Coach, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, Tyson Ditmore, head coach at Horizon High School, going into my second year, and excited to be on this podcast and talk a little bit with you guys.
Glad to have you, Coach.
Yeah, thanks again for joining us. This is awesome. Again, before we jump into the questions, we want to remind everyone, follow us on social media, on Instagram, on X, Twitter. It's Twitter. Everyone get over it. It's Twitter. Okay. And TikTok. We're definitely trying to grow this and help athletes throughout the state of Arizona just be able to get opportunities at being able to play at college, whether it's a JUCO, Division 2, 3, even Division 1. Like, we just want these athletes to have this opportunity. So any support you show us directly impacts the students that we're trying to cover. So we want to thank everyone for that. And Coach, very first question. It's the standard we ask every single coach. What made you want to start coaching?
Well, I'll be honest. I thought I was a really good businessman, and I was in medical sales for a while, and I'd always had a passion for the game. I had awesome coaches that really put their time and effort into me and were hard on me. And I kind of really felt like I missed that about 9 years into my sales, uh, kind of business stuff. And one day I woke up and decided that I wanted to go back and teach and coach. And that was almost 7 years ago. So I'm here now for the passion of the game.
It drew him back.
Sorry, I was muted.
That's all
That's fun. That's great for a podcast. Don't mute yourself.
right. At least it'll make the bloopers, huh?
Yeah, of course. So sales, obviously super competitive. It helps scratch that competitive itch a little bit, but obviously it's not football. There's only one football. So that makes total sense to me. I mean, I love it. I love football. You got a question, Ricky?
Which I do have a question for you. So, being a native New Mexico guy like yourself, are you red or green for your chili?
Oh man, I'm red, 100% red. You got to put it on everything. Red on your eggs, red on your meat. Green chilies, I guess. Let me put it this way: green chili's always going to be there. So, it's an awesome place when you've got some red chili on your meals.
And I guess my second question would be, if you had to describe your coaching style, how would you describe that?
My coaching style is I'm pretty hard on the kids in the moment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, but after that, I really kind of want to love on the kids afterwards and show them that I'm here for them as a human being. But during the moment, I'm hard on them. There's a lot of redirection, and I want to coach the way that I was coached. And it's in the moment, I'm going to be hard on you, but afterwards, I'm going to love up on you.
Do you feel like that style of coaching has been a little bit lost in the kind of the new generation of head coaches?
Heck yeah, it has, man. I want to go back to that old school mentality. I mean, shoot, when I played high school football, it was 20 years ago. And, our head coach was really, really hard on us. But, afterwards we felt like we could go in and have a conversation with the guy and kind of share our stuff with them. And that's what I want to try to give back to these kids.
I love that.
Yeah, like you can be hard on them and have like a physical like brand of practice and coaching, but still like be that outlet. I feel like that like the perfect example is Andy Reid for the
Hmm.
Chiefs. I mean, training camp comes, they're hitting each other. He does not sugarcoat it. Like he is
Yep.
not new age, like flouncy, whatever bullcrap. You are playing in the preseason. You are hitting each other.
Yeah,
So
I think that's good for the players throughout the season. So you don't want to start actually hitting in regular season. Next year, injuries come and the body's just not used to it, can't hold up.
mm-hmm. So, Coach, my next question is kind of focused on the realignment with the regions this year. There was a ton of realignment, specifically like Higley moving up to 6A, and then you got Chaparral moving down to 5A. So your new region is Cactus Shadows, Chaparral, Desert Mountain, you guys at Horizon, and Notre Dame Prep. Looking through the rest of 5A, I'd say this is one of the most competitive regions in the state, just period, in any level. But what going into this season, what is your main focus in order to come back out on top in the region?
Well, I mean, you hit it on the head. We're in you know, geographically, we're in a really competitive spot. We've got Desert Mountain, Chaparral coming down now, Notre Dame Prep. Cactus Shadows is emerging now, and just our region in general is going to be really difficult, and it always will be. But I think 5A football has really increased the competition and competitive level. Knowing that enrollments are starting to increase in certain areas, enrollments are starting to go down in certain areas, and I think for us last year we did a really good job of kind of maintaining we called it a 3 game stretch, or kind of win three and you'd be okay in the region. But shoot, man, next year you never know, and especially with some of the top tier teams like Desert Edge and Cactus that were both in the state championship game last year. We kind of got our work cut out for us in 5A, and Higley's always been our powerhouse. So we know there's a lot of competitive teams out there, and we're excited to play a lot of competition.
Yeah, I mean that's perfect. Perfect. Hit it right on the head. I mean you in your first season as head coach go to the open bracket. Like that's very impressive as specifically your first season making it to the open. And unfortunately, like it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but that is still impressive. And to be able to say like we're ready to compete now against Desert Edge and Cactus right now. And I think there's been some rumors kind of floating around that the Open's going to be purely 6A this year. I don't 100% buy that. I think committee's going to decide however they want to decide, but I think you guys have probably the best shot to make it out of 5A and back into that Open bracket. And I think you guys can do some damage this next year. I think Liberty's losing some offensive linemen to just graduation. Basha is losing most of their defensive line to graduation. So like, there's a bunch of schools like you guys played Basha in the first round. Their defensive line was fierce, like just brutal, and all those guys are graduating. So I think you guys are set up pretty well to at least take a game in the Open if they allow you to. But if you're in 5A, I think you guys can cruise as far as you guys play. But Ricky, you got a question?
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to know what are some of the biggest challenges you faced while as a head coach for high school football?
Oh shoot, man! I would say the 3 P's: parents, politics, and paperwork. Those those are what kind of really have consumed me as a head coach. I'm super fortunate enough to have 2 great coordinators. Drew Vaughn, whose dad was the head coach at Mountain Point, Coach Vaughn, who won a state championship there, and then Dave Anderson, who has been a defensive coordinator for a long time. He's our defensive coordinator, and then Coach Jason Haggerty is our special teams coordinator. So, one of my goals as a head coach was to kind of be that CEO approach type of dude and let those guys do those things, so that way, we're giving enough to the boys. It's not, I'm not locked in on drawing up offensive schemes or defensive schemes or special teams schemes. I let those guys do their jobs and kind of distribute that stuff up. But those are in any head coaching job, just doing my research with other guys. That's those 3 P's are the
Yeah.
big crusher.
Yeah, some parents are overbearing.
Yeah. Ricky.
Hey, I'm not gonna say I was never. like that. So.
I don't have to worry about that. My son is newborn. I don't have to worry about being an
Not
overbearing
yet.
parent quite yet.
My son played for Shadow Ridge High School over here in Surprise,
Okay. Yeah,
and
shoot, I was at Mountain Ridge last year, so we played Shadow Ridge last year.
I wasn't always agreeing with the offensive scheme. So,
It is that's the nature of the beast, man.
and then of course you think we all know the best, right? We're like, oh, you should have called this play. Why did you call it?
Monday
like
morning
we're
quarterbacking.
like we're getting paid for it. That's funny. One thing we haven't talked about this year is the transfer rule. Um, I know there's one thing I ran into with it. So unfortunately, we had to move, and my son had to go to Willow, and he didn't really have ties with the football program at Willow. And then we ended up having to move one more time, and we went back. He went back to Shadow, and he had to sit out a full year, even though we had proof of him not having any, ties to the program. What are some things you like and don't like about that transfer rule? Because sometimes it's out of the student's hands.
Yes, I agree. Sometimes it is out of the hands. I will say one of the biggest factors that doesn't help kind of high school football is that college football, the landscape has changed so much
Yes.
that kids can go wherever they want. There's no penalties or anything like that. I'll be honest, I'm a homegrown dude. I went to the high school I was supposed to go to.
Yeah.
I stuck it out. I would love for our kids to do that, but I also respect that. If kids that aren't happy, they're more
Mm-hmm.
they can do whatever they'd like. The biggest thing for us here at Horizon is we want kids to be successful in their lives after football, and no
Mm-hmm.
matter where they go to play football, we want them to know that football is it teaches so many life lessons for kids to pass through and take on with them to the next level. That hey, if you're playing for four different coaches in 4 different years, you're hopefully going to learn something through that in the future. But if you really want my opinion, I'm big on homegrown dudes that are traditional, that do it the right way, and want to buy into what each coach is pursuing.
I like that. I feel like it made the game a little bit more pure now that
Yeah.
we're
Yep.
overloading teams with.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate. I mean, you even see in like the specific example in college right now was Nico Imalieva. Him and his
Yep.
brother both saying, "Hey, I want $4 million." He was making 2.5, and now he's only making 1.5 at UCLA. But we looked this up, due to state income tax laws, he's only pulling $800,000 out of that. And so it's like I don't like the transferring, taking advantage of that. It's brutal. I mean, when I was in high school, there was that one dominant team.
Mm.
Growing up in Utah, it was Timp View High School. They were dominant. They won the state championship, I think, 8 of 12 years.
Oh,
Just powerhouse, but they had open enrollment, and so they were taking kids all like driving an hour to go to that school, and you're just like, there's nothing we can do. But Utah at the time didn't have set transfer rules, and then they set it and retroactively or like took all those state championships away. It's like you can't do that without laying it clear. I'm at least glad that Arizona has it clear with the schools and the students what the rule is. And obviously it's case by case. Like specifically Ricky, your son shouldn't have been facing that. But some kids like, I'm gonna go to Chandler because
Yeah.
Chandler sends a lot of people to college.
I mean, I like it for those reasons for sure, like for the ones that are trying to benefit off of it. But like, I went straight to the top people I could talk to, and they weren't having it. They stuck to the guns 100%.
And that's the only problem with it is it has to be case by case. You can't draw a hard line. Your son just so happened to have to move with you. Like there's no you guys buy a house, you got to move. But so coach, my looking at your coaching history, you coached the freshman team at Paradise Valley for a couple of years.
mhm.
And so with that, I'm also thinking now that you're the head coach, what kind of involvement are you in in like the development, the youth program, I guess, for Horizon?
So, I mean, again, back to the point of, I don't want to be involved in any really kind of, not necessarily not involved, but I want to make sure that I have enough hands in everything to make sure that I know what's going on with the program. I love seeing our, youth kiddos, come out here and have an opportunity to play. And one of my goals was to have a really big impact with the freshman kids. Knowing that the freshmen are going to be kind of our forefront of what the program is going to look like in 4 years. So, we've got, this is probably not really common with a 5A football team, but last year we had 8 freshman coaches. We had 12 varsity JV coaches. So I'm a firm believer that the development of the young kiddos that come into our program, need that individualized coaching and kind of those mentors, really kind of specifically in that first year. So I'm really heavily involved with them. They have a class that's with me. We're fortunate enough that the district offers a class that the freshmen are with us. Our varsity JV guys have a class that are with us, and it's huge for the development of the program. And the reality is your team's always got to continue to improve. And if you're not investing your time with the young kids, you at some point that time's going to run out.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That's how dynasties come and fall. Like that's you guys are competitive now, but you're trying to ensure that competitiveness going forward. I think that's the smartest thing that any coach can do is be involved at least like what you said with the freshmen
Mm,
and having them around the varsity JV players so they see what effort these guys are putting in every day in order to be at that level, to be like recruited. Like they're seeing these guys start to get recruited from these classes. They're hearing it in class and stuff. And they're like, man, I want to do that. So they're going to try and emulate that. That's a good culture builder and culture sustainer. I'm a big believer in culture more than anything. Culture determines, like, you may have like peaks and valleys, but those peaks and valleys are real shallow. If you're hitting that valley, you're dropping maybe a couple more games that year, but you're always sustaining that success as
yeah,
long as you have the building blocks in place. So
yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that you're involved as much as you are. That impresses me, and I know that the kids that you're around are appreciating that more than they're willing to say as freshmen and sophomores and juniors and seniors. But I just want to say thank you for that your involvement with them. You got one more question, Ricky?
I do. What is some advice you'd give to a young aspiring head coach for high school football?
It's more than you think it is. Um, shoot, man, I think in March was my 1 year kind of, come around, and it's a lot. It's a lot. I will give a shout out to Greg Davis that I coached under at PV, and Coach Andy Litton that I coached under here at Horizon. It's a lot. It's a lot, and people really don't understand what head coaches go through, and some of the time that it takes. And shoot, if I had my phone, I would put it up and show it to you guys, but we're on it right now. It's a lot, and a lot of respect to the head coaches that do it, and that do it the right way. And I was very fortunate enough to learn through some great head coaches that took the time to kind of really be involved in everything. And sometimes head coaches, you know they can't always respond to you, but just know that they're aware of kind of what's going on. And yeah, it's a lot. When you're ready, you better be committed, I guess.
I love that. And don't forget the
Yeah.
three P's.
Yeah, don't forget it. Yep. Oh, one sec. Hey, Glenda, you're good. I'm hanging out near. Sorry, the janitor later's in here. We're
You're
No,
good.
you're
there's no sleep here at Horizon.
There you go. Fine
no, it's
example.
good.
Late nights. We got late nights.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Coach, I just want to thank you for this interview. I got probably we'll go one more question here.
Yeah.
We want to respect your time. We don't want to take up too much of it. So this question here is going into this next season. Do you want to spotlight any players and or coaches that have taken a bigger role in your team heading into this season?
Yeah, I mean, number one, our seniors that are coming up this year are going to be, we've got 29 of them that are awesome kids. They're believing, they're buying into what we're doing. Um, we've got kind of a thunder and lightning duo with our running backs, Bodie Zamorano and JohnnyIssett. We've got Jake Giroux, who's out on the outside, who is an awesome receiver. Our quarterback this year slated to be Carter Puma, who last year, humbly accepted the role of being a reserve quarterback until, he tore his ACL, but he's ready to take that leadership role on this year. We've got multiple offensive linemen that are coming back and a steady secondary that's coming back. But I think one of the biggest things for us is last year we finished the season with 74 players. We started when I came in here, we had, I want to say close to 111 kids that were a part of the football program, varsity JV only. Varsity JV only. We ended up with 74. Sometimes kids don't believe, sometimes kids aren't a part of, what you're trying to bring in. But now going into this spring, we're excited. We've got about 100 kids varsity JV. So losing those seniors and then we've probably added 50 kids to the program, and that's not including our freshmen. So we're excited about it. We've our young group, our freshman kids. There's a lot of really, really good athletes in there. Ron Wolfie's son, the Wolf, his son is going to be a really, really competitive football player for us. And then we got a big time offensive tackle, Liam McNeil. That's that will be good for us. So just like we talked about, our program is just continuing to grow, and it's with all the kids, it's with all the coaches and administration and everybody here.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, Coach, just again, I want to thank you for doing this. It means a lot to us, me and Ricky. It means a lot to the players and everything that you do with your job.
Yeah.
Um, we want to thank everyone for listening to this episode of the Tailgate Sports Podcast. Definitely stay tuned. We're going to be trying to be, like I've been saying for weeks, broadcasting these games throughout the season. So definitely stay following our social media so that we can continue to shout out these schools. And Coach, I just want to thank you. And Ricky, do you have anything else?
I was super hyped to interview you. Another New Mexico guy, and you definitely brought great energy. And what you do for the kids is amazing. So we definitely appreciate it. And
Yeah. Skis up, guys.
yes, sir.
All
But
right.
like Tanner said, follow us on social media so we can publish this, and then show some love to the school as well, and we'll keep on pushing.
Will do.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.
All right. See you guys. Thanks again.
All right, Coach. Have a good night.